We brought in Joel Marchese, a U.S. relations expert, history teacher in the Grossmont High School District. You're also running for the 53rd seat in Congress. So thank you for coming this morning. We certainly do appreciate it.
Great to be here.
Let's just talk about the very latest. Russian President Vladimir Putin holding this news conference this morning.
Right.
Now we're seeing the Dow start to surge on news that maybe the tensions are beginning to ease. What do you make of all this?
It has. I think the Dow situation, that's a temporary reaction to Kerry being there perhaps, and Putin's posturing is still pretty set to be right where he is right now. This is a desperate situation for many in Ukraine. We have Ukraine Americans here in San Diego who are very worried about their family and friends back in Ukraine, so we have to watch and monitor this very closely.
Let's talk about the U.S. interests in the Ukraine. What are they?
We have very little interest, except politically speaking. We want to promote freedom and democracy. Ukraine has been a free state since the breakup of the former Soviet Union. Since 1991, Ukraine has been free and independent. They want to maintain that independence for forever, actually, which is why they're so tense and upset with this the Russian posturing and the invasion with the forces surrounding the Ukraine border. So all the Ukraine people want is their freedom and independence back, and we should, as a nation that promotes freedom and democracy, we should back them on that 100%.
What is Russia's interest in the Ukraine? Let's talk about that.
Russia's interest in the Ukraine is energy. Russia is now the #2 exporter of energy worldwide. That's a position they want to hold on to and expand. So the Russian position on this, and Putin especially, his goal is to reclaim as much of the former Soviet satellite countries as possible for energy needs. They want to continue that export of energy. That's our biggest revenue source right now. And we should actually be doing the same thing, but we're not. We don't have an energy policy like Russia does, where we're exporting and producing more oil. And we have huge potential here in the U.S., as much or greater as Russia has, and we're not taking advantage of that.
You're talking about things like the Keystone Pipeline and using some of the resources that we have in this own country. Okay, that may be a separate conversation, but let's also talk about why, I guess, and you don't have a crystal ball, nobody does in this particular situation. Why should the world be paying attention to what Putin is doing? Well,
look, we worked hard in the 80s in the Cold War era to bring that to a resolution, and it was successful on our part, and the former Soviet Union was eventually broken up. So now we're at a point where things are starting to reverse in the wrong direction again. So we have free and independent states like Ukraine and the state of Georgia over there as well, and Russia would like to take all of that back. So the world has an interest in making sure that doesn't happen, so that we have some stability in the world. We don't want conflicts in that region, especially where you have the potential loss of life between a conflict with Ukraine and Russia that could be devastating.
We only have just another second or two, but do you see this turning into an all-out war?
It's hard to predict that. Ukraine, if that does happen, Ukraine doesn't have the army to defeat the Russians. Russia has the biggest army in the region. So if that did happen, it would be tragic. It would be a huge loss of life. I don't see that Ukraine could compete with that army, though, that Russia has.
All right, Joel Marchese, thank you so much for your expertise this morning. And as the congressional race gets closer, please do come back. We'd love to talk to you about that as well. Taking a short break. We're back after this.